Glorious One, I have a message for you. From Kassandra. She wants to see you in her office in Lilmoth right away. She didn't say and I didn't ask. It's probably got something to do with this remnant you're all so excited about. Frankly, I don't care. She wanted you to get the message, and I delivered it.
My hatchling lives because of you. I tell all I see, so your legs.
So, you're Famia's caretaker, huh? Don't envy you. She's weak. Here in Murkmire, the weak wind up as Wamasu food. Name's Whiptail, Kassandra's bodyguard. Don't need your name. You won't be around long enough. Famia's helpers never are. Someone like me? Huh. Funny. You're funny. Truth is, she came looking for me. Kassandra's got an eye for talent. She wants results. I deliver. Huh. You think I do this for the gold? Of course I don't. And neither do you. You and me, we do what we do. Rich, poor, or in between. Don't act like you're one of these workaday sheep. False modesty's beneath us. Mud in your ears? I do for Kassandra what you do for Famia. Except I'm better at it. I know Murkmire. Better than most. Want some advice? Of course you do. Surviving Murkmire isn't about maps or guides or good manners. It's about strength. Strength to do what's necessary. All the time. Yeah, maybe one day you'll get a chance to show me. That could be fun.
It seems Kassandra is as impressed with you as I am. Please, consider her offer. If this remnant of Argon is as important as Zukas says, we cannot allow the blackguards to get their hands on it. You can help us. You can help all of Murkmire.
You've done a great deal for us already. I wonder if you're willing to do a bit more. While Famia has proven a steadfast companion, I believe our current predicament requires someone a bit more adroit when things take a turn for the perilous. I do. One of your native companions warned you off of it, didn't they? Believe me, I sympathize. But despite my lifestyle, I'm still an Argonian, one with ample means. Who would I be if I didn't use that wealth to help my people? Yes. You clearly want what's best for Murkmire. I can think of no one more qualified for the task. You and the bright-throat Zukas have grown close, yes? He knows a great deal about the Remnant, I'm sure. Please, convince him we only want to help. Thank you for your efforts thus far, and your achievements to come. I have business in Alton Mirthil. Perhaps we can reconvene there once you've made your inquiries with Zukas. It is, in fact. You have a very keen eye. You should know that the crystal was a tremendous discovery. Vaka stones like this one are very difficult to come by. Famia didn't tell you? Vaka stones are mysterious crystals, not unlike the Aeliad Welkid stones. Our ancestors used them to store the raw magicka that falls from the sun, thus their radiant yellow hue. Powerful relics, to be sure. If an opportunity presents itself, perhaps. I suspect that some ancient Argonian relics require Vaka stones to function. No doomsday devices, though, I promise. An item of tremendous historical significance and arcane power. Very little scholarship exists on the subject, but I do know a little. Argonian elders often referred to it as a sacred egg, or Zothithal. Eggs always contain something, right? Answers. About the Hist, their beginnings, their powers, their intentions. All I know for certain is that it does not contain simple coins or ancient bric-a-brac. The Remnant is a vessel for great power. We must be cautious and well prepared. Whatever is best for the people of Murkmire. I won't act without their consultation if that's what you're worried about. Again, I may be something of an outsider, but I am still an Argonian. This isn't some purely academic matter for me. I honestly couldn't say. Most of that history was beaten out of my exiles by the Dark Elves centuries before I was born. Slavers take great pains to destroy our racial identity, you see. Makes us easier to control, I suppose. You mean, has the Hist spoken to me? I'd prefer not to talk about that right now. A conversation for another time. It is. I spent the greater part of my youth in Cyrodiil. Taking on Imperial dress, name, and customs made things easier. Of course, it makes things here in Murkmire more complicated. One of my life's many ironies. No. I was hatched in Morrowind, your people's homeland. You'll forgive me if I don't elaborate. It was a very difficult time. I don't harbor a grudge, though, truly. Working with upright dark elves like you is my genuine pleasure. The antiquities market. No surprise there, I'm sure. I know I'm a bit starchy now, but in my youth, I was quite the explorer. I discovered several untouched Ayleid ruins and auctioned their treasures for a tidy sum. Hardly. The Ayleids treated my ancestors very poorly. I prefer to think of this as simple reparations. In any case, my business interests are purely philanthropic now. Like Famia, I only seek to preserve Argonian relics for future generations.
The brightest, loudest throats croak your name, Biko. This makes it difficult to sleep, but under the circumstances, I think I can forgive you. That business with the egg tenders was no midday wallow. Now, we have something to discuss, I think. Of course you do. This matter of the Remnant, you must understand, it is fragile as a marsh robin's egg. Even so, I trust your heart, and truthfully, we could use the help. Brightthroats are negotiators, not warriors, and war is brewing. All answers lie with the Hist. It is just a matter of hearing what it has to say. Chimemaker Shuvu can help us. Our Hist speaks through the wind, you see. Its words rustle through the boughs, and our chimes sing out its counsel. Poetic, right? Old Shuvu spends his time in the Glade of Chimes, to the west of the village. In my youth, I would spend all my time listening to the chimes. It is a very good place. If you go there now, I will join you. You will like Chimemaker Shuvu, I think. Very wise and very pleasant, like one of your gray-muzzled bark dogs. Let's make our way to the glade. The Remnant. It is not a thing known, but a thing felt. Like rain on the shoulders, or a brief whiff of cinnamon grass. Difficult to explain to outsiders, I think. Ha, this is fair. When I was a hatchling, a very old Nahish elder told me a story about a lost tribe, one that lived far away in houses of stone. She did not speak about the remnant, but its name swelled in my heart. I do not know why. My knowing tree is barren. Sorry, Biko. Better to learn these things together anyway. For you, at least. Just think, if I knew where the remnant was, I would probably have hidden it by now. Then you would never get to see it. Is the name not clear? It is a glade. It is full of chimes. Some people think that the Hist speaks to us, just as I speak to you, using words, you see. We call this kahupwo, the mouth talk. Very rare, Biko. Most Hist speak without words. In Brightthroat Village, the Hist speaks through chime music.
Is that? Little Zukas. Come to visit your old friend in the Glade of Chimes? He is always so busy now. I recall when he stood only as tall as the Keppel grass. And you, Xavier. What can this stiff-legged crafter do for you? Remnant of... My. This is no small question, Zuka's friend. Look around you. Each of these chimes sing out a tangle of melodies, but only one tangle. One chime speaks of eggs and hatching, another jangles about death and journey's ends. The Ogel is clever, Zukas. Yes, my hands gave birth to every chime you hear. But the remnant, only one chime can sing its truth. One made by sun-blessed hands in an old time. Older than my egg mother's egg mother. A chime as old as our tribe. Locked away, hidden under mud in lost memories. Understand, our egg-sires did not want this truth drifting free on the wind. But Zukas trusts you, so I will trust you. Go to the Wither Vault, claim the chime. We will learn its truth together. The Wither Vault is well north of the village. I would guide you, but my knees grow stiff as kindling wood. Little Zukas can aid you, I have no doubt. Be warned, even Brightthroats who know the mire like their own scales face danger there. Since before he hatched, I called him the Little Stump. He would plant himself at the foot of the listening tree and stare up at the branches, listening, always listening. I thought he might take my place one day. You should ask him. Treeminder Pavu saw the old sap in Zukas. She made him a root herald, and his days grew short and lean like an underfed guar. Eventually, he had no time to listen anymore. All is as the Hist wishes it to be. One day, when he has grown old and thin like me, he may return to the glade. Until then, he does the tribe's work. There is no shame in that. None at all.
The Wither Vault? Cizo. I would not go there if there was any other way, Biko. I tumbled into it once as a hatchling. I vowed I would never go back. It is a bad place full of bad things. The perfect place for a sacred chime, right? The path to the remnant bends like an oxbow. Let's find this chime. Leaving the glade always puts rocks in my sandals. Sad, you know. One day the two of us should share some phlegm wine there and just listen. The swamp grows thick here. A far cry from Lilmoth's mud puddles, I think. Oh, Leviathan Pizzle grows across this glade. A very powerful herb, Biko. Remind me to pick some later. I cannot imagine the Brightthroats ever holding territory here. Very little wind, hollow seeds, and poor fishing. Take away our wind, seeds, and fish, and we grow very sour. There it is, just up ahead. This place dries my scales. No good thing comes from stone. Let's make this quick. I fear we will find more than the chime inside this vault. Be careful. The Nahish elders never speak of this place, not even to me. Stay watchful, Biko. I hear something. The chimes. They sing without wind. Just ahead. Kayak, I hate this. There is still much to do, I think. Good work, Biko. Let us get back to Brightthroat Village.
Soiling the chime, my rage quill is engorged.
Be calm, old Shuvu. No one wants to see that. Have a care with that chime, Biko. Remember, it is older than Shuvu, and Shuvu is Topi Rajta. You would say older than dirt, I think.
The wind welcomes you, Zuka's friend. You have the remnant chime? Please, settle an old lizard's spines. The beast Zukas mentioned, it did not gnaw or shed water on it, right? Hist be praised. Take the chime to the listening tree and hang it there. When you are ready, clutch this prayer stone and focus. If your cause is just, the Hist will answer. If not, I guess we have to find a better place to bury this chime. Perfect. Now Now center yourself in the glade and focus the remnant's mystery on the prayer stone. We seek your guidance and ask the blessing of your song. Sap Mother, Bow Father, please hear our petition and speak the remnant's truth. I hear nothing. A tangle of whispers, nothing more.
That can't be. Wait, I hear it, Shuvu. I hear it. The hist sings the remnant's truth.
Truly? Ha! Little Zukas. I knew you had a chime maker's heart. Come, tell us what you hear. Zukas, my little listener. As mud as my mother, how many secrets have passed me by that he might have heard? He has the soul of a chime maker. I knew it. One day he will find his way to the wind and music. If not in this life, then in the next.
I am confused. Shuvu is the wisest listener in the tribe. How could he hear nothing when I heard it so clearly? He is very old. Maybe he just needs his ear cavity flushed. Smoke of stars to see what once was seen. Sunless sap to hear what once was heard. A bramble of words. I appreciate the hist's poetry, but this is not an ideal time for it, I think. I do not know. Hopefully Shuvu can teach me how to decipher the words. It will take time, but I will find you if I learn more. Perhaps friend Famia could help also? Or Kassandra. They both know the marsh's stone secrets. They could prove useful.
Hello. Kassandra said you'd be here. There's news. Well, you certainly have a spring in your step. Your work with the Bright Throats went well, I take it. Splendid. Following another lead on the Remnant. Or, potential lead. Someone she worked with before she started funding Cyrodiilic collections. I don't know much more. She asked me to tell you to join them when I saw you, so I suppose you should do that. West of here, near that spooky prison. Honestly, I missed most of it. Too preoccupied by her bodyguard. Something about how he looks at me. Gives me the shivers, you know? But we have better things to discuss. What did you learn with Zukas? Ritual Argonian poetry. The words are common, but the meter is all wrong. There's more to it. Missing verses, perhaps? Well, truthfully, Kassandra is the authority on that sort of thing. You should set out. I'll try to dig up a few relevant texts. Smoke and sunless sap. Strange that the Bright Throat's hist would speak in such dour terms. Maybe it describes some dark age. The Alessian incursion of the First Era? Or perhaps a dark age yet to come. Egads, let's hope it's not that. Ugh, I wish I knew. He's just the worst, right? She hired him maybe 6 months ago? I don't think Kassandra's ever received a credible threat to her life, but he's always there, leering at us. Maybe she'll sack him now that you're here. Fingers crossed. Oh, they're mostly fine, a little shaken up. A few of them have sworn off exploring for good. Hard to blame them, I guess. Luckily, Zadaza chose to stay on. She would never let her career end with an abduction. Far too proud for that. Kassandra summoned me. Honestly, it's nice to get out of the office from time to time. Thought I might take in a Tiba Inu match while I'm here. I guess it'll have to wait. I need to get back to Lilmoth to research this poem of yours.
No use. Pockets have been picked clean.
Nothing is ever that simple. Good, you're here.
If you've got something to say it to Kassandra.
You found us. Good. As you can see, we've met with some difficulty. I apologize for the unsightliness. Were your inquiries in Brightthroat Village fruitful? Murder, apparently. The victim was Hitsasi, a former associate. Not so pleasant or learned as Famia, but still useful in his own way. He traveled in less reputable circles. I had hoped he could shed some light on the blackguard's plans. That is what we are trying to determine. Whatever happened, it was neither clean nor brief. What a waste. If the blackguards came after him, Hitsasi must have known something about the Remnant after all. Look around and see what you can find. His throat was cut. Simple bandages weren't enough to staunch the bleeding, it seems. What have you found? Show them to me, if you would. Pages torn from Hitsatsi's journal. I do not mean to speak ill of the dead, but I must admit some surprise. He never struck me as someone committed enough to keep a journal. If he knew about the Remnant, this could prove invaluable. So, the blackguards have learned what we already know. The truth of the Remnant cannot be torn from my eggkin because they do not know it. Only their tribal relics can provide the answers. How did you learn the Brightthroat's riddle? You see, the voice of the Hiss needs a conduit, some physical means of communication. The blackguards failed to acquire the Brightthroat's chime, but they clearly mean to steal some relic from the Deadwater tribe. Bold. Or spectacularly stupid. Precisely. You know one of the tribe's calls, don't you? Jaxic Orn, if I recall correctly. Find her and plead our case. If the Deadwater tribe has some way of learning more about the remnant, we need to find it before the Blaggards do. Safe travels. When you've concluded your business with the Deadwater tribe, meet me back at Cyrodiilic Collection's headquarters in Lilmoth. We're getting close. I can almost feel it. Please, don't mistake my stoic demeanor for a lack of enthusiasm. All of this is tremendously exciting. But, in answer to your inquiry, yes, the primacy of these relics is a thrilling discovery. It supports a theory of mine about the Hist. Well, I wrote a treatise on the subject some years ago, a brisk 400 pages. But I suppose I can give you a summary. Argonians share a special relationship with their Hist. They hear its will, taste its decrees. Yes, well, that's just it. I can't hear the Hist. When I place my hands on the Hist's bark or rest in the shadow of its boughs, I hear nothing. No whispers, no faint smells or soothing tones. Just silence. Deafening silence. Thank you. I admit the silence troubles me, but do you see? My eggkin sometimes need intermediaries too. With these antiquities, the chimes, the Deadwater relic, and eventually the remnant itself, perhaps I'll finally hear something.